everybody. When a parent walks away from their LGBTQ plus child, whether it's through rejection, silence, condemnation, or forced distance, the harm is deep and enduring. For many LGBTQ plus people, parental rejection is not a disagreement. It is a rupture that affects mental health, safety, and the ability to trust love itself. Rebuilding a relationship after such harm is not quick, easy, or guaranteed, but change is possible when parents commit to humility, accountability, and unconditional love. This process is not about easing a parent's guilt. It is about earning back trust and offering the child the respect and acceptance that they have always deserved. The first and most critical step is for the parent to fully acknowledge the harm they caused. This means naming actions honestly: disownment, emotional abandonment, misgendering, threats of hell, forced conversion attempts, or expulsion from the home, without minimizing them or reframing them as good intentions. Phrases like, "I did what I thought was best," or "I was trying to protect you," center the parent's feelings and invalidate the child's pain. True accountability sounds like, "I hurt you. I failed to protect you. I chose beliefs over your well being." This acknowledgement must be offered without expecting forgiveness in return. Many parents struggle not because they lack love, but because they believe love must include control, conditional acceptance. "I love you, but" teaches a child that their identity is negotiable. Healing begins when parents release the need to change, debate, or correct who their child is. This includes respecting names, pronouns, partners, and boundaries without argument or delay. It also means accepting that the child's identity is not a phase, a rebellion, or a theological problem to solve. Love that requires erasure is not love, it is compliance. A parent who wants to rebuild trust must do their own learning. This includes seeking out books, affirming faith leaders, LGBTQ plus education, and testimonies from queer and trans people without expecting the child to be the teacher or emotional guide. It is not the child's responsibility to justify their existence or walk their parents through basic understanding. Independent learning demonstrates sincerity and respect, and it prevents reopening wounds through careless questions or harmful assumptions. An apology is not a single conversation. It is a word or a pattern of changed behavior over time. Parents must be prepared for their child's hesitation, anger, or distance, and must not interpret these reactions as punishment. They are natural responses to betrayal. Showing up consistently, remembering names and pronouns, defending the child in front of others, including their partner, and respecting boundaries communicates safety far more than repeated verbal apologies. Trust is rebuilt when a child sees that acceptance is not situational or temporary. One of the most difficult truths for parents is that reconciliation happens on the child's timelines, not the parents'. The child may need months or years before feeling safe enough to reconnect, or they may choose limited contact or no contact at all. A parent committed to change must respect this without pressure, guilt, or emotional manipulation. Statements like, I'm trying, why can't you move on? Reopen harm. Patience is not a favor, it is a consequence of past choices. For parents whose rejection was rooted in religion, healing requires confronting a hard question. What matters more, being right or keeping my child alive and whole? Many parents come to realize that faith was never meant to cost them their child. Choosing acceptance does not require abandoning spirituality, but it does require rejecting interpretations that justify cruelty. Love, safety, and presence must take precedence over doctrine. Rebuilding trust with an LGBTQ plus child is not a destination. It is a lifelong practice. It requires ongoing reflection, openness to correction, and a willingness to grow as language, understanding, and the child's needs evolve. Parents who succeed in rebuilding these relationships do so not by demanding closeness, but by becoming safe enough to approach again. No parent can undo the years of harm caused by rejection, but they can decide that the future will be different. They can choose to be a source of affirmation rather than fear, of safety rather than judgment. For many LGBTQ plus children, the greatest healing does not come from perfection. It comes from a parent who finally says, through actions and consistency, I see you, I accept you, I choose you. That choice, even after years of heartache, can become the beginning of something honest, reparative, and deeply human.